yeah. So there's one beautiful picture that you see all over when you visit Neuschwanstein. Supposedly the picture spot is on the opposite side of the river, next to the gorge where you can usually go up. Like the official path is over there. And here's obviously like a footpath many people have taken, but after rain, the terrain is so steep and so slippery that, yeah, this would have just been suicide to try and continue onwards. The typical picture you get from Neuschwanstein all over the place, getting to that picture spot is quite difficult. But yeah, there's quite a few different spots, and we'll have some of them for you in the video that you can visit that are not as dangerous and can easily be hiked to. And those also give you quite a nice overview over Neuschwanstein. But for the typical photo spot, not sure if this is the way, but if it is, crap. That one, after rain, just suicide.
The Pöllert Gorge, which we just came from, is one of the natural borders of the castle grounds. An iron walkway is leading from the gorge up to the castle. Due to rockfall, this path can be closed, so make sure to check before you go.
Today we're visiting two king castles, Hohenschwangau and Neuschwanstein. Both of the castles are quite impressive, but the well-known one is the Neuschwanstein one, because it was the inspiration for the Disney castle. Just getting in there is a bit complicated. You are required to get a ticket quite a bit in advance. And well, you have a fixed time of entry for both of the castles. There's combined tickets. We'll put links to all of that down below in the description. And yeah, so essentially you can't really pick your weather. You need to come here if you want to enter the castle on whatever day you booked. Sadly, we're not allowed to take any pictures or videos inside of the castles, but just the outside. We hope will already give you a bit of an overview. And yeah, for the inside, you might have to come here yourself.
In Schwangau, you will find plenty of parking. During our stay, the price for 6 hours was 12 euros, and 6 hours would usually be enough to visit the castle. But if you actually want to hike around the grounds, you might require more time. Even before you can enter the castles, exploring the surrounding area is a big must. From the beautiful old houses to the lakeshore, there's a lot to see. When it's finally time to head up to one of the castles, you have multiple options to choose from. Of course, there's the footpath leading all the way up to both castles. But if that's not possible for you, there's also horse carriages going up to both castles and a bus service. The castle Hohenschwangau was first mentioned in 1397, under the name Schwanstein at that time. Today's castle is due to the reconstruction by the Crown Prince Maximilian of Bavaria. He bought the castle in 1832 and shaped it into its current state. On the way up to the castle, you can visit the Chapel of Christ the King in Hohenschwangau. The building might not look very typical for a church, which is due to its original purpose. Originally, this building was used as an orangery. The building work was only done this millennium, which makes the church the latest place of worship in Hohenschwangau. Next to the guided tour through the interior of the castle, you should also take some time to explore the courtyard.
So, we just exited Hohenschwangau. Sadly, in there, any photography or videography is not allowed. But yeah, the tour will guide you through the different quarters of first the Queen and then the King. With the King living on the upper floors and the Queen on the lower floors. There's a few nice intricate details, like a separate secret door where the King could enter the quarters of the Queen. The tours are organized in different styles, either with an audio guide where you have multiple people having like their own audio guide to listen to. Seems to work most of the times. We had a few hiccups during our tour, and there's also guided tours with a single guide in different languages. The tours go roughly like all 10 minutes, so yeah, that's quite busy in the castle, but it's still nice to see. Quite a few intricate details, especially around the different gifts that have been given to the King and Queen. Quite some nice artwork, and a bit of history about the castle and the different families. But we would love to be able to explore that on our own, and that's not possible. So you will have to rely on a guide if you want to visit. So the tour took about 40 minutes. Like, one drawback of it is that it's so full that you can barely move around the room. But if you just make sure to stay behind, you can still see everything for a short moment while everyone else is moving to the next room. Just my tip for large groups like this. One of the most popular viewpoints is the Marienbrücke, or Marienbridge.
Rather, Mary's Bridge.
That's also where the buses drop you off on the way up. But if you want, the hike up there is, well, steep, but not too bad. And compared to the Troubles and all the noise down there, it's quiet, birds. Just us and a single other person going up.
The path from the bottom up to Mary's Bridge takes about half an hour. It's not too steep, and due to the trees, also well shaded. To get some time to enjoy Mary's Bridge, we recommend at least an hour between the time you visit Hohenschwangau and when you visit Neuschwanstein. Be aware, however, that Mary's Bridge feels a bit unsteady. At least the floor is moving a lot, and it will be completely full of people. We also spotted some signs speaking about the limitations of how many people can be on the bridge, but I'm quite sure this was not followed. The view down into the Pillared Gorge alone is worth it, but of course the highlight is Neuschwanstein.
The bridge is quite sketchy, so the planks all move quite a bit, and as long as you have a bit of vertigo, that really doesn't feel nice. But the view down to the castle is incredible. So if you're fine with a wooden bridge that moves as if the planks could break at any moment and it's completely overpopulated, then this is one of the viewpoints to go.
From Mary's Bridge, you can take a hiking path up towards Tegelberg. Along the path, you will have multiple opportunities and incredible views over Neuschwanstein. Essentially, the higher you go, the better the view. If you have an hour or two to spare, we recommend hiking up the path a bit. While this will not get you anywhere close to the perfect picture spot that you see all over the place, you will still have incredible views over Neuschwanstein from above. The path up here is hiked as a mountain hiking path, but it's actually not too bad. There's still significant drop-offs, so it shouldn't be done in the winter. But in the summer, it offers an incredible view down to Neuschwanstein and Lake Alpsee.
So, if you have a bit of time to spare, then I highly recommend you take the time to go a bit past the Marienbrücke. From here, the hiking path is not that trivial. It's, quite steep in parts and, slippery, lots of roots, loose gravel. But the views that you get from up here, simply breathtaking. Like, every moment it gets nicer and nicer. And I am happy that we took this path. It's one of the most beautiful views we had here at the Castle Neuschwanstein. I think the only more beautiful place that you can have is either from a drone or up one of the hills on the opposite side. But there, I guess you need a quite good lens, long lens, to really capture the view where the lake just behind it. But outside of the typical view that you see in all the pictures, the stuff you can see here on the viewpoints is by far the best you can get.
Before you enter the castle, there's a few viewpoints you can explore, and you should also take a moment to enter the courtyard before your tour begins. After the tour, you will not have the option to return back to the courtyard. If you're carrying a backpack, store it at one of the lockers at the viewpoint. Otherwise, you will be asked to carry it in front, which can be a bit annoying during the tour. As with Hohenschwangau, you're required to go with a guided tour. Also, just as in Hohenschwangau, this will mean that you don't really have the time to experience any of the rooms that you visit. A few of the rooms were highly impressive, but at the same time, I couldn't shake the feeling of the modern building. I really have to wonder if the castle owners forbid pictures in the inside just because they were afraid people would stop coming if they knew what to expect. That said, I'm still happy that we entered the castle, and some of the rooms were really impressive. Much of the interior shows clear inspiration from other castles, most notably the Wartburg.
We're done with a rather quick tour of the Neuschwanstein Castle. It's about 30 minutes, and just a few rooms, not too many. But impressive. It's a mix of modern building and just normal hallways, and incredibly luxurious and very artistic and beautiful decorated rooms. But overall, due to the size of the tour groups, you can't really explore the rooms. You're mostly pushed through that. When you're exiting the room, there's already the next tour coming. I would say it's still nice to visit the insides, but if you've seen many castles, I guess you've seen them all. It's inspired by different other castles, like the Wartburg has been an inspiration for many parts of the castle. When you're here, I would say it's definitely worth a visit, but at the same time, compared to Versailles or similar castles. This one, I think, falls a bit behind. You can tell that it's a modern representation, only built after the different inspirations. And yeah, just not a historic castle. And yeah, it just shows.
Other than the hike to Tegelberg, Reit Alpe offers an incredible view over Neuschwanstein too. Just be aware that this is all the way over at the Tegelbergbahn. Also, be aware that this is private land, so check with the landowner before you enter. Even if things might look empty, the bull might be actually on the meadow. From here you can also easily walk over back to Neuschwanstein. At the entrance to the Pollard Gorge you will also find a plaster mill and a sawmill. A nice little channel system is powering the water wheel at the mill. From here, at least in theory, you should be able to reach the most popular photo spot of Neuschwanstein. It's literally in all the pictures you can see all over the place. But we have to say, after heavy rainfall and the gorge closed for rockfall, it was not possible for us to actually find the spot, even though we really did our best to try. Just opposite the sawmill, you will find a rather pronounced path leading into the gorge. It doesn't take long, however, until the path gets very steep and incredibly slippery. From all we read online, this should be the path leading up to the permanent photo spot of Neuschwanstein. But we really recommend you don't go here. Loose soil, steep drops and the ever-present danger of rockfall. If you really want to experience Neuschwanstein from above, check out our other video over here. Head over to Tegelbergbahn for an incredible paragliding experience. Thank you for joining us on this trip. Consider supporting our channel by pressing the like button. Thank you so much for watching the video all the way to the end.